The Oscar nominations have been announced, and the coldest takes you've ever seen on the internet are coming out to play. Welcome back to Movies Good, Internet Bad. It's like the namesake of this show is for us to talk about a day like
Absolutely.
today. I'm Cory, that's Shane, and we're going to give our thoughts on some of the surprises from the Oscar nominations for 2026. Please like and subscribe, and let's dive right into this. Shane, I have here my Marty Supreme popcorn bucket. And inside of said Marty Supreme popcorn bucket, I have a whole bunch of topics for us to
Sweet.
discuss. So it's going to be completely
Lightning
random.
round. Let's do
It's
it.
a lightning round. It's going to be fun. And the Oscar goes to our first topic.
La La Land. Just
Oh my gosh, there's been a mistake. It's Moonlight. No. So the first one is Guillermo del Toro did not get a nomination for Best Director. How do you feel about this?
I think it's interesting because Frankenstein got so much love from the Academy this year,
Mhm.
yet that was like the one thing that we thought he'd get thrown a bone for, and
Yeah.
he didn't get that one, but it got like everything else. So I don't necessarily disagree. I wouldn't put him in over any of the other directors up there,
Yeah.
but it was a bit surprising just because of all the love that he was getting for Frankenstein and all the love that Frankenstein got.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's Del Toro's passion project, and
Yeah.
it's the one that he didn't get nominated for Best Director on. It's interesting, but if you look at who did get nominated, you've got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Joaquin Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. That is kind of
Yep.
a murderer's row of directors this year. So
Yep.
if
And
somebody
Joaquin
had to be
Trier
on the
was the
bubble,
one that like everyone thought Guillermo would get in over, but
right?
I like the pick.
Yeah, I mean, showing some love to an international film in a
Yeah.
category other than best international film is pretty
Yep.
cool. So let's go back to my bucket here. I also have the Dune bucket that has Shai Hulud on it, but
I think we
my
should have
fingers
done
would
that.
get caught in that one. The next one is Jesse Plemons did not get nominated for Best Actor for Begonia. His counterpart in that film, Emma Stone, did. It also got nominated for Best Picture, Best Score. There's a handful of other things. Uh, I thought Jesse Plemons was outstanding in this movie, and I was actually a little bit surprised to not see him get some love.
I He was up for best actor, right? Not
Yes,
supporting.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think
because it's
that's
like
the
a
problem is
two-hander between him
this
and Emma Stone.
category was just so stacked. Like the five that actually got nominated in the category are outstanding in their films, and so it's like you
Yeah,
can't talk about a snub without talking about who they would replace, and it's like who is
correct.
he going to get in over?
Yeah, so for that category, you've got Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan playing two characters in Sinners, and then Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent. Again, a very tough category. This was a good
Yeah,
year, I think.
yeah,
So
absolutely. That's probably the best actor lineup that we've had in quite some time.
I don't think I'd be upset if any of them won,
Correct. Yeah.
which is great. Like that's a
Hmm.
beautiful thing. So, all right, next up from the popcorn bucket, drum roll, please. Wicked for Good getting completely shut out. Not a single nomination. If you take Wicked's 10 nominations from last year and add it with Wicked for Good's nominations, you get 10 nominations. What the hell happened here, Shane?
I just don't think it was a very good movie. I honestly don't
Bingo.
think that the first one got a lot more love than I think it should have, but I think it rode the coattails of the musical.
Okay.
However, the second half of the musical is widely regarded to be the weakest part of the
Mhm.
musical. And so they made a whole movie based off of that, and I don't think anybody really cared.
Yeah.
But it was weird because last year it had like direction. Did it have direction? Did John M. Chu get nominated for director?
I want to say yes.
I think it did.
Okay.
But like there was a lot of at least like hype around the technicals of that movie, and I think the technicals were the worst part of the movie. So I just don't understand it. But this is much more of a course correction than I expected.
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing with that movie was that it is ugly as sin. So the
Yeah.
fact that it didn't get nominated for cinematography,
Yep.
that's all. I like whatever. If Ariana Grande would have gotten a nomination,
Yeah.
sure, whatever. Cynthia Erivo, fine. They both do fine work. They carry the movie, on their shoulders. But I just didn't think it was that great of a film. And movies that aren't that good shouldn't get represented in the Oscars. So, which we'll talk
It's
about
a
once
hot
we
take.
get to one of our future topics here from my popcorn bucket. All right, next up, Diane Warren going for 0 for 17 with Best Original Song. I didn't know anything about this until the nomination came out,
Diane
but
Warren for the
apparently,
Diane Warren movie by Diane Warren.
yeah, apparently she's been nominated 16 times for an Oscar and has never won. And if you look at the Best Song category, the tune from K-pop Demon Hunters
It's gonna be that.
and I Lied to You from Sinners
Yeah.
and Train Dreams from Train Dreams, I don't think there's any way that she's going to get that Oscar, so she'll be 0 for 17. It's really all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. So let's move on to the next one. All right. Nothing for Zack Snyder this year. No cinematic achievement for the Flash going back in time, the Speed Force or whatever the hell they did for that one. Yeah, some of these are jokes if you haven't caught on by yet. All right, next one here. This is a big
for
one.
James Gunn. No nominations for James Gunn.
Also true. So
what is the Snyder? What do the Snyder Bros say now? They're tied.
If we account for inflation here, comparing James Gunn's Oscar nominations to Zack Snyder's. All right, so the next one. This is actually a really big one, and it's something that's definitely worth celebrating. Sinners is now the most nominated film in Oscar history. It took home not 1, not 2, not 10, not 12, but 16 Oscar nominations. Holy shit, man, that is cool.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on this. Personally, I liked the movie. I didn't think it was outstanding or I adored it or anything like that, but I did like the movie a lot. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to say it's, I think on our top 5, I put it as like my third highest movie of the year. So like, I did not dislike this movie. However, it is a very weird year in that like it's picking up this many awards. And I think the discourse that's going to happen when it doesn't win that many of the awards is going to be crazy.
Well, let's not worry about that just yet.
It feels like, and maybe it does, maybe because, I mean, we'll talk about this later, but like it got some awards that we didn't expect it to, some nominations we didn't expect it to.
For sure.
And so maybe there is a lot more love from the voting body than we expect. However, I kind of see this as like an Emilia Perez type situation. I'm not saying it's as bad as Emilia Perez. I am saying that Emilia Perez was nominated for a lot and won practically nothing. And I wonder if Sinners might end up in a similar scenario. And that's going to be weird because like it feels like we're putting so many expectations on this film by giving it 16 nominations.
Sure.
Even though I think it's only going to be favored to win a couple of them. Best original screenplay, best score,
maybe cinematography. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll necessarily go in there and sweep. It's not going to do what Anora did last year, I don't think, by any means. But the fact that it's a movie that came out in April of last year and has stayed in the conversation for so long, it grossly outperformed all of its box office expectations.
Yeah.
It was another one of the movies that was a big champion of go see this movie on the biggest screen. It uses large format. It's really immersive. It's got that musical number in the middle of it that is just to die for. I think it's, regardless of whether it wins a bunch of the Oscars or not, getting all the love that it did, just it like warms my heart. I love the movie. Yeah. It's one of my tops for the year. So
yeah, it's good to see. I just hope it's not one of those things where it's like virtue signaling to give it a bunch of nominations with no intention of actually voting for it for the awards.
Yeah, we'll see. That's all based on the Academy and what direction they vote in. So, in the interest of moving on, we'll go to the next topic here. I thought this was interesting. Wake Up Dead Man was the first Knives Out movie to not get a nomination for Best Screenplay. And it's interesting because I think that this one was significantly better than Glass Onion. But when you look at the category, the Knives Out movies, the first one counted as an original screenplay because it was a brand new thing. But Glass Onion and Wake Up Dead Man, because of the fact that in the title it says a Knives Out mystery, they now have to go into the adapted screenplay category. And looking at those for this year, it's Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. That's
Yeah.
a really hard category to break into, but just an
Yeah.
interesting factoid.
And I think there's a little bit of franchise fatigue there as well. I certainly saw a
Yeah,
lot less discourse about this one than the prior two movies.
sure. And the Netflix of it all, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to go see in a theater because they
Yep.
barely showed it anywhere or whatnot.
Yep.
It's shocking how that works out. So, all right, the next one on my list here is the Battle of the Safdie brothers, where Marty Supreme came home with 9 Oscar nominations, and the Smashing Machine had 1, which was for best makeup and hairstyling. So,
Yep.
I think it's easy to say that Josh won this one.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's funny because Marty Supreme felt much more like the joint pictures that they did, Uncut
Yes,
Gems, and
good
uh,
time. Yeah.
Good Time. I was for some reason my mind went to Good Place, but Good Time. Thank you.
Was
and
Goodfellas a Safdie movie?
um, but it's interesting because I felt like that was much more stylistically similar. So I wonder, did Benny branch out so he could kind of use his own voice because he felt like Josh's voice was the more powerful of the two, not
Could be.
necessarily in terms of quality, but in terms of just decision making.
Yep.
And I did find it interesting that The Rock, for all the hype he had of like maybe he's going for it, he's gonna get the nomination, and he just wasn't even a thought.
Yeah, he'll be back at WrestleMania next year, probably. All right, moving on, just in the interest of time, because we have a whole bunch of these to blow through. There were 2 big snubs for Best Original Score. And those were F1 from Hans Zimmer and Marty Supreme from Daniel Lopatin. I thought both of those scores were excellent, and I was very curious to see Hamnet and Begonia get nominations because I saw both those movies and I liked them both a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't walk out of them thinking, "Oh my god, the scores for those were so good." So
Yeah.
interesting.
So I do find it interesting too because I think I could be wrong on this, but I think Arrival did not get nominated for Best Original Score because Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight was in the movie. And yet this one does get nominated for Best Original Score, even though On the Nature of Daylight is in the movie. Now I know that Max Richter also did the score. I just wonder, like, there's some mathematical formula or something that
there's always something weird that happens with the score category.
Yeah,
like 2
there's
years
something
ago,
back there.
They wouldn't let Dune Part 2 get a nomination.
Correct.
Because too much of the music was similar to Dune Part 1, and it's
Correct.
like, well, okay. Are you just supposed to write an entirely new score if you want to get nominated? Who knows? Maybe Part 3 will be a total.
I think the other lesson here is don't put dance music in your film because Challengers lost out for having a dance score,
right? Yeah.
And F1 lost out for having a dance score. So
that is a very valid point.
The Academy does not like the raves.
They're not into Inception with a backbeat. So who knew? All right. So this next one, this sparked a spirited dialogue in one of our group threads. Avatar Fire and Ash got nominated for Best Costume Design. And you're probably wondering, well, isn't Avatar Fire and Ash a film that is rendered entirely inside of a computer? How on earth would it get nominated for Best Costume Design? Shane, I'm going to let you explain that one.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this nomination because Avatar, the Na'vi in general, were almost 100% designed by the costume designer. Her name is Deborah Scott, and she won the Oscar for Titanic. She did the costume design for Back to the Future. Like, she's been doing that for years. She's like a legend in Hollywood. But like a lot of the look of the Na'vi, their clothes, their culture, even their hair was designed by Deborah Scott. And so what she does is she actually creates all of these practically. And then she's almost like a supervisor with the visual effects team, telling them like, hey, this material would do this in the water. This material would do this when it's going through the air, all of that stuff. And so it's like, it's almost more involved than a traditional costume design process where you just put them on the actors and whatever happens.
Sure.
This one, it's, you gotta sell it, right? You gotta create it and then sell it digitally.
I had no idea until today that there was a costume designer that didn't just render these in like Photoshop or something and then send them off for visual. I had no idea that they made legit costumes. I mean, aside from the human characters, right? Like Spider and whatnot, they have to, because they're live action. But for all the CG, I had absolutely no idea. And it just goes to show you that as plugged in as you are to the industry and to movies, there's always something. There's always
Yeah.
a whole bunch of extra cogs that are making the wheel spin, and that's
Yeah.
a really interesting one. And part of me kind of hopes that they take the win, because I think the article you
It
sent
would
said that they
prove a
made
lot,
over
right?
2,000 costumes that they made by hand for that movie, which is
Yep.
literally insane. So,
Yep.
all right, next one. Man, we're sticking on the Avatar train. Payakan was snubbed, and he is still outcast. Who who knew? Poor
He should have won for
Payakan.
best original song.
I
No
I
one will hear his
agree.
song.
Yeah, no one would hear his song, and the big group of ancestors just made really low rumbles, which is certainly interesting. All right, so the next topic here, I thought this was really interesting. All five of the best director nominees also either wrote or co-wrote the scripts to their movies, so it's
That's a
literally a
fun fact.
category full of auteurs this year.
Yeah.
And let's see, where's directing here? Uh, Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie, Paul Thomas Anderson, Joachim Trier, and Ryan Coogler. So all auteurs. This also apparently happened 2 years ago, and then 2 years before that. So it's becoming more of a
So
trend
next
for
year it won't happen.
right, and then the year after that it will.
Yeah.
So, all right, next up, big surprise here, but long overdue. Delroy Lindo got nominated for Best Supporting
Yes.
Actor for his role in Sinners. A lot of folks thought that he was a lock to win Best Supporting Actor for his performance in The Five Bloods from a couple years back, and he didn't
Yeah.
even get nominated. It was one of the big snubs that year. So. It made me very happy. He's
Mhm.
great as Delta Slim in Sinners. Awesome performance. So
Yeah, I love to see it. We love to see it.
yep, very good. Congrats to Delroy. Hope you can take that one home. Tough luck. It's a pretty stacked category.
Yeah.
All right, so this next one is interesting to me, and it has to do with the category of best casting. So it's a
Yes.
new category, right? And it's about the best casting of a film. And Sentimental Value did not get nominated for best casting.
Yep.
Yet, four of the actors in Sentimental
Yep.
Value were nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Best Lead Actress, and two Best Supporting Actress nominees. What does that say about this category?
I think it says that casting, at least in this specific instance, in this award, speaks more to an ensemble than it like a big ensemble than it does a smaller film.
Okay.
Because I would imagine that Skarsgård was already attached to the film when they produced it, so that almost wasn't even done by a casting director. It might have been. I'm making this up. I'm speculating,
Sure.
but like when movies are getting made, often they'll have a star attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so the casting director doesn't have as much of a say in that type of stuff. However, in movies with a lot of different characters, then they have to go find a bunch of people, right, to
Yep.
put in this film. And so I kind of wonder if that's where some of the love came from, instead of a movie where, yes, all four of the leads were great, but there were only four kind of parts to play.
Sure.
Not total, but percentage wise, right?
Right. And when you look at the list of what did get nominated, Hamnet, I mean, the casting of just the kid in that movie is worth
Yeah.
getting nominated there. Marty Supreme, they went and got a bunch of people who have never acted before to be in that movie.
I was going to say
it worked,
that really
right?
impressed me. Like having
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary in the film, like when I saw that in the previews, I was like, why is he in
Why?
that movie?
Yeah.
And then he was great. It was really good.
Yep. And then One Battle After Another has a massive cast. And they also did some interesting casting there, like Regina Hall, who's typically a comedic actress. They put her in a very serious role and everything. So The Secret Agent, I think I saw something that one of the supporting characters in the movie is someone who'd never acted before. So that's an interesting decision. And then Sinners is a giant ensemble. And some of those people are people that you've never seen before, or you haven't seen in a very long time. So I can definitely understand. So just a couple left here. Please stick with us. Comment below if you enjoy what we're doing. This one is my favorite. Frankenstein got nominated for Best Sound here at the Oscars, which is interesting because
I'm gonna let you do this one.
For most people, I'm gonna vent. For most people, they could not go see this movie in a movie theater, which is where, in most cases, the best sound is. If you go to a movie theater, with a digital movie like Frankenstein, they play it on what's called a DCP, which is a file that's on a hard drive, which is completely uncompressed and it has the best video and audio quality possible for that film. Frankenstein is a Netflix movie. And if you don't live in a big city, you couldn't see Frankenstein in a movie theater, which means you probably watched it on a television or a tablet or a phone, maybe on a pair of headphones, maybe on a sound bar. But even with that, there's a ton of compressed audio because you're watching it through streaming. It makes my head hurt. And like Frankenstein was a terrific sounding movie. I drove an hour away from home to watch it in a theater, and it was awesome. But still, it's like the vast majority of people who saw that movie didn't get to see it that way, which is
Yeah. And so it's like it deserves the award, but you just wish like a film with that high of quality of sound, people could actually experience it.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So off my soapbox, we've got two left here. What is this next one? F1 got nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Shane, I know that you're a big, what do the kids call him? A stan of F1. So I'm going to let you preach for a minute here about this film.
No, I think, yeah, is the script bad? Yeah. Like, it's not a good script. And I rolled my eyes many times in the movie. However, I think this is a filmmaking award, right? If you look at all of the technicals and all of the new achievements that this film was doing, and just the production of getting it made, having to go to all of the different F1 races around the world in order to get footage. Brad Pitt is like literally on the tracks, like in the middle of the races while they're filming B-roll and everything like that. So, like, this is an achievement in filmmaking, even though I don't think the script is very good. All of the sound is great. The editing is great. It's just a very cool movie. And plus, like, a lot of people really liked it. It was a kind of a out of nowhere box office surprise. It did a lot better than people were expecting. It was very high budget. So people were expecting it to be this huge flop because it was such a high budget film, but it like made back its budget and it was a big surprise. So I think we should celebrate films that kind of push the medium forward, even if maybe the script is a little bit basic and cliche.
Very cool. Well, it doesn't have a chance in hell of winning.
No, who cares? So, like,
anyone who is upset about it getting nominated,
it doesn't. If it wins, vent away. But it's not going to win.
But when Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Marty Supreme are in that category, I don't think F1 stands a chance. So sadly, we've made it to the end of our stack here, and we're going to end on a sad note. Shane, it's a joke, but the Electric State did not get nominated.
Man,
any Academy Awards this year.
But it's like Back to the Future.
The darling Marvel director tandem, the Russo brothers, did not get any Oscar love for their $320 million Netflix movie that
I did see remembers. It was nominated for a Razzie for Worst Movie of the Year, and I hope it wins.
Hey, something is better than nothing.
I think the title of our film, or our review of that film, was "It's the worst adaptation of all time," and I'll still stand by that. I think
that is what you said, and I don't entirely disagree. I was very.
I don't like hating movies, but seeing a movie that bad that is also a horrible adaptation of its source material and throws it in the trash, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Definitely not the film for us. But so that's going to do it for this video. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys stuck around and watched all these topics. Drop us a comment below and let us know what you thought. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please make sure to check out our review of the premiere of the new Game of Thrones show, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I have a couple Blu-ray reviews that I've posted to the channel. And then we also have our wrap-up list from 2025 and most anticipated for 2026. So be on the lookout for all of those things and so much more. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.